Segmentation to me is the segmenting of two rotations in the delivery, the lower body and the upper body. It's arguably the most important piece to any type of throw in terms of producing power and aligning properly to allow the body to naturally absorb, produce, and express forces. We want to see the hips rotate early in comparison to when the lead foot is anchoring down to the ground. Now, ideally, when the lead foot anchors down and the front leg takes on force, our hips, especially the rear hip, would be like halfway into rotation. Okay, so our trunk is still neutral. This is what creates stretch. Segmentation is what creates stretch. You hear hip shoulder separation a lot. It's creation of rotational energy, which accounts for about 80% of total energy production within the delivery. That's why it's going to be a huge piece to truly optimize in anyone's throw, because you're allowing for a maximum amount of rotational energy to be created to then capture with the throwing arm. Throwing arm is then going to capture that rotational energy by being put into a position in which he is actually in. But you can see, instead of being really rotated with his hips, he's a little bit dragging behind. He doesn't create a whole lot of rotational energy in the comparison to where his shoulder is in relation to his hip. If we can get that back foot, right? So let's take a look at Bueller. When he anchors down, you're going to see, like if you were behind him, you would see that entire foot, right? And that would give us a really good indication of where his hips are. You can see Bueller does a really good job of keeping the torso neutral. The hips are in. You create all this stretch. You can also notice the glove side is creating stretch in his chest and his pecs. Right here, with the glove side in relation to the throwing side, Shane's not creating a whole lot of stretch. Stretch is energy. Creating stretch and releasing stretch is essentially creating energy and releasing energy. We want to release energy at the right time. We want to release energy in the right direction. This is where it could become something that's blocking him in terms of that glove side. So he's not being able to create as much stretch, and now he's not going to be able to release that stretch in the direction of the target. Now, again, I'll program arm action stuff. I'll be honest, at 15, that's going to be the way he wants to throw. He's going to want to throw on top of the ball. He's going to want to be able to pull down, and that's fine. Again, we can have a slot that's super overhead. That's the beauty of throwing mechanics in general. Everyone does it differently in an effort to accomplish essentially the same goal. So it's on us as like instructors or as parents or guardians, like we need to understand what makes Shane unique in his own athletic ability is potentially the way he throws the ball. And I love having deception. Back to the segmentation dynamic. Like I said, in the report, you're going to see segmentation as the first major mechanical component that we're going to hit on in his development, with an emphasis on the glove side. I would really encourage him to do some of the progressions that's going to aid in like glove side extension. Extension is going to aid in a greater amount of stretch we talked about. It's also going to aid in like that retraction, right? So when we look at arm speed, we look at velocity. He does a good job of creating like pretty freaking good amount of layback, but the retraction, so the amount of retraction that his elbow is as his front foot anchors into the ground, is going to be a huge indicator of how much power, how much velocity his arm's going to be able to go. Arm speed is not created by the arm independently. Arm speed is created by the segmenting of the two rotations, creating rotational energy, having the hand in a position to then absorb and use that energy. And he does a good job of that. But again, the glove side cutting us off here. Ideally, we don't want to cross our hands, right? We want freedom of our arm deceleration. If our other arm is in the way, it'll block that freedom. And what's going to start happening after that is the arm won't have a good window to decelerate. Therefore, limiting the amount of acceleration that the arm can go through. Hey guys, thanks for watching that video. Robby Rowe here. If you are interested in learning more about pitch mechanics, I put together an ebook. I'll provide a link right here for you to click to check it out. Everything I know about pitch mechanics, I put it down on an electronic book. #2023.